and gentlemen, thank you for coming to this press conference. Just to explain the format, I'll first of all introduce four people on the table here. We have Her Royal Highness Princess Saphire, the FEI President. To her left, Sven Holmberg, FEI First Vice President and Chairman of the FEI Jumping Committee. René Villardon, who's President of the Grand Jury, and Paul Farrington, who's the FEI appointed veterinarian and is under the thermography team for this particular event. There will be chance for questions, but before you do answer your question, please wait for the person coming around with a microphone so that we can hear your questions. So please do not start. The conference will last for, well, as long as we need, approximately about 30 minutes. But please do bear with us. We're also going to... So please be patient. But first up, I know that Her Royal Highness Princess Saphire would like to make a short statement on behalf of the FEI.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Early this morning, the FEI announced that Saphire, the horse ridden by McLean Ward from the United States, was eliminated from the second round of the FEI World Cup final held last night and was disqualified from the rest of the event following a positive hypersensitivity test. I would like to state very clearly at this point that the FEI has very clear policies and rules, and that we will always protect our horses where there are welfare concerns to ensure their protection and provide a level playing field for all of our athletes. I would like to emphasize that the rules and protocols allow for disqualification at any stage on welfare grounds. We have a duty to care for our horses. If it's agreed that a horse is in pain, then it must be eliminated. The protocols have been agreed on by the Jumping Committee, the Bureau, and the General Assembly of the FEI, and we will always uphold these protocols. I must absolutely stress as well that this has no reflection on this event, and that everybody should be confident that every time there is an irregularity, the rules and regulations are providing a guarantee for a result that has integrity and will provide the sponsors, the public, and the organizers of this wonderful event with top sport. The decision to eliminate Saphire has absolutely no effect on the value of the competition, nor the outstanding quality of the organization of this World Cup final. This is a guarantee to the vast majority of our athletes that are competing fairly, that our rules and regulations are there to protect them and their horses, and that those rules are being implemented. We are committed to protecting the welfare of the horse and the image of our sport. Thank you.
Paul Farrington and his assistant veterinarian, who did the first initial testing at 7:30, do not have the power to eliminate the horse on their own. The elimination is a question that is left to the discretion of the ground jury upon the recommendation of the veterinarians. And as you know, the class started at 1915, so the ground jury was already occupied in the jury box and could not leave the jury box to take a decision of this kind at the moment. The veterinarians also felt that in light of the type of investigation they had been carried out, the horse could jump, and it certainly showed that it was capable of jumping as well. The fact that the ground jury didn't have the immediate possibility to attend to the horse was also one of the reasons why the horse was re-inspected 5 hours later.
5 hours later, why 3 hours after the end of the class? Why not just after the class? Something you do not understand really.
Traduction, donc vous avez dit 5 heures plus tard, mais ça veut dire que c'était 2 heures après la fin de la compétition. Pourquoi ne pas l'avoir fait 3 heures plus tard?
in light of the graveness of the decision, the eventual decision, we felt that it was necessary to make sure that really all the details of the protocol, as decided by the General Assembly, was followed to the letter all through the whole process. That is why it took some time to get it all organized again.
I would like to ask the veterinarians, earlier today, some riders and the rider himself said, and the American vet as well, that the proof, the facts were very thin, that this decision was taken. Could you describe which were the facts, who made you take this decision, or this recommendation?
Nous avons entendu certains cavaliers et aussi d'autres personnes dire que l'évidence, les preuves dont vous disposez sont bien maigres. Est-ce que vous êtes d'accord? Vous pouvez nous dire de ce que vous avez contre?
It will probably be as well for me to explain the process of the examination, so because obviously that explains the decision that we came to. We started the thermography testing at this particular event on Thursday. And up until the time of the examination of Saphire, we'd examined some 35 horses, some of them 2 times over. Every single horse was examined by thermography, and every single horse was examined by clinical examination with 2 veterinarians present at all times, one being myself and the other being Dr. Emil Welling, the foreign veterinary delegate. We had no problems with any of the examinations up until that time. The suspicion or the worry about the horse being hypersensitive when we examined the horse at 7:30 yesterday evening was the fact that although the thermography did not show any presenting signs that would prove any problem of any sort, the clinical examination, as recorded on video subsequently, was very obvious. At the first examination at 7:30, a close examination of the dorsal surface of the pastern, which is the front of the pastern above the hoof, was on the right-hand side non-sensitive. In other words, Saphire did not mind my touching it with 1, 2, 3 fingers at any stage. But on the left foreleg, I had noticed when we were doing the thermography, and I noticed it visually rather than through the actual thermographic image, that there was a mark on the front of the pastern about 1 centimeter above the coronary band. And when I examined that side, on the left-hand side, palpation around that particular area did not cause any particular concern. But each and every single time that I touched that point on the surface of the horse's pastern, the horse showed a very marked reaction by picking the leg up very sharply and then stamping it down to the ground again. And we have visual evidence that I presented to the FEI to that effect. So on the basis of that, Sven has already mentioned to you the processes that we have to go through. But at that moment of time, I advised Tim Ober, the American team vet, of my concerns. The horse was showing true hypersensitivity, and that we were going to report the process to the ground jury.
Saphire only picked up her leg 7 times, which is in direct conflict with what you said, that she picked up her leg every single time. How many times, to get this clear, did you palpate her, and did she pick up her leg?
I didn't count the number of times, quite simply. We never do. But it's the same as any other clinical examination that we will make in practice. We make a sufficient examination to be confident of our findings. And for that reason, not only was it my examination, but it was also the independent examination of Dr. Emil Welling, who made his own palpation, and then at the second examination, Dr. Marcus Muller as well. So there were 3 independent veterinary surgeons all making their own decision as to whether the horse was showing hypersensitivity or not.
One more, was the hypersensitive area, was it worse or the same after the competition?
L'endroit sensible était-il le même ou était-ce pire après la compétition?
Our assessment on a subjective basis, because it has to be a personal opinion on the level of the reaction that the horse is showing, was that it was the same on the left fore. After the competition, she was beginning to show reaction on the right fore, but we believed that that was just because she was getting fed up with us as much as anything else, as these horses tend to do. We're very aware of horses when we have to give them repeated injections on a daily basis, that eventually they decide that they don't want to see us. So that was why we believed that the reaction was starting on the right fore, but the reaction on the left fore was consistent at both examinations.